I'm going to show you exactly how I would start over day trading if I had to start from scratch as a complete beginner. For a bit of context, at this point in my life, I'm 25 years old, and today I have days where I make money like this consistently. So backstory, I first got into trading around 7-8 years ago through crypto. I didn't know at the time, but I actually got extremely lucky. You see, I had a friend who was making money and I just jumped in. I put all my savings in the market, and within a few months, I had turned $15,000 into a little under $100,000. And yes, I thought I was a genius. I thought I was going to be a millionaire. And then the market crashed and I lost all my profits. I was heartbroken. I literally experienced depression and sleepless nights. But that experience did something to me. I had seen life-changing money for the first time ever, and I knew what was possible. And so therefore, I just became obsessed with figuring out how I could make that money back and do it again. So I decided to go on and become a full-time trader. I went all in on learning how to read the market. But even still, I lost thousands of dollars and wasted so much time making so many mistakes that I didn't have to make. And literally all of this just because I didn't have the right roadmap and plan of action to become profitable. If I knew back then what I know now, I would have saved myself so much time and money and would have achieved success so much faster. And so that's exactly what I plan to do for you in this video. I'm going to lay out the entire roadmap and plan on how to actually get results as fast as possible, trading even as a complete beginner. And if you're watching this and you aren't a complete beginner, hang in there, because you may not be at step one, but you will be somewhere along the way. And I'm going to help you go from complete beginner to profitable trader step by step. This is the video that I truly wish I had when I first started. So the first and most important lesson I need to share with beginners is process over profits. Now, look, obviously we are all here for profits. We're all here to make money. The goal of trading is to make money, is to get rich, to be able to achieve real financial freedom. But here's the part that most beginners don't understand yet. You see, money in trading is not the goal. It's the result. Profits are an effect. Your process is the cause. And in reality, just like trading, we don't actually have direct control over what happens, right? The outcome. We only have control over our actions, which is the process. Let's take a farmer for an example. The goal of a farmer is ultimately to grow something. So what must the farmer do? Plant something, right? Obviously. And after the farmer has planted something in order to grow something, he should not sit around asking himself when his crop will be finished. He doesn't wake up each morning and dig up what he planted yesterday to see if it is ready. But he also must not just sit around doing nothing, just wishing and waiting for the crop to grow, because that's also not how it works. Instead, the farmer must focus on the process. He must water his crop daily. He must pick the weeds. He must feed the plants. He must scare away all the birds that threaten to ruin his crop. Simply put, the farmer focuses on the process, the actions that he must take, not the outcome of those actions. The farmer knows that if he just does what he needs to do every single day, that in 6 months' time, there is a very good chance that he will have an abundant harvest. That same principle is true for traders and anyone in life who wants to achieve anything. You see, if the trader spends his time obsessing over making money, he will make mistakes. Or worse, he just won't take any action at all. But the trader who focuses on building a good process and then following that process on a daily basis will inevitably make money. Beginners ask the question, how much money can I make today? How much money can I make this week, right? Professionals like me ask the questions, did my plan play out today? Did I follow my rules? Did I manage my risk correctly? Did I ensure that I didn't act emotionally on any of my trades, right? I care about the actions that I repeat, because by mastering the process, the profits just come automatically. It is Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And when I finally understood that, my job as a trader is not to make money. My job as a trader is to build and follow a great process. Literally everything changed for me. If you want to know how to build and follow a winning process, I've actually left another masterclass for you to watch after you have watched this video. I'll leave the link in the description. It is completely free. The second lesson is the understanding of a clear plan. You see, learning how to learn is a skill in of itself. And it's something that I personally learned later than I would have liked to. Because when you know how to learn correctly, it speeds up your success by tenfold. And here's the problem. Most beginners don't actually have a plan for becoming profitable. They just consume. One video turns into another video. One strategy turns into 10 strategy. One opinion contradicts the next. And on the surface, it feels productive. But in reality, it's one of the most dangerous places that you could possibly be, because learning feels like progress. But the truth is, progress only happens when learning is directed. Look, I'll be totally honest with you. Around 80%, maybe more, of what I learned about trading early on is completely useless to me today. I don't use any of it. I don't even think about it because it doesn't make me money. When I first started out, I was like a manic sponge. I would literally binge YouTube video after YouTube video, price action patterns, smart money concepts, strategies, psychology videos, right? Anything that just looked good. And every time I just told myself that I'm learning, therefore I'm being productive, therefore I'm making progress, right? But the truth is, I wasn't actually getting closer to profitability. I just had more information, which led to me just getting more and more confused. Because when you don't have a clear plan, all you end up doing is bouncing from one thing to the next. And then you never stick at something long enough to actually master it. Because the reality is, now that I know what I know, I could make pretty much anything make money. Like almost anything. Support and resistance, price action patterns, literally anything. Because trading is less about the tools and more about knowing what to do with them. Now, obviously, I will say some things are much more profitable than others in my experience. And for me, after pretty much trying everything, smart money concepts is what worked. It just makes the most sense. Now, I've worked with traders who have been learning for 5 years and still not achieved profitability, still guessing, still unsure on what actually matters. And I've taken those same traders to $50,000 in profits within literally 6 months. Not because they suddenly became smarter, but because they finally followed a clear plan. That type of speed doesn't come from more information. It comes from knowing exactly what to focus on and exactly what to ignore. That's ultimately what a plan does. It removes noise. It removes all the distraction and the wasted effort. A clear plan literally tells you what to learn, when to learn it, what to practice, and what to avoid completely in a step-by-step manner. Without that, you're just left guessing. And so lesson number 2 is a very simple one, but extremely effective. If you don't have a clear plan for becoming profitable, you will stay stuck in learning mode forever. And again, one of the key things that I cover in the masterclass that I want you to watch after this video is the actual plan itself for how you should approach your learning. Lesson number 3 is master the basics. When I first started looking at charts, it was literally like trying to read a poem in Chinese. It was just overwhelming. I had no idea what any of the information was telling me. My charts looked like this. And it wasn't until I removed all the noise and just mastered the basics that I finally had my breakthroughs. You see, in all professional sports, the best in the world are the ones who have mastered the basics. I think Bruce Lee said it best when he said, "I don't fear the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks once. I fear the one who has practiced one kick 1,000 times." And in trading, that is just simply price action itself. The quicker that you can literally just have your chart look like this, with no overwhelming information whatsoever, the quicker that you will achieve success. Because the truth is, all the information that you need is inside of these candlesticks. All you have to do is figure out how to understand what it is they're saying. Let's take a trend, for example, right? You've all heard the saying that the trend is your friend. And honestly, that is one of the most valuable pieces of information in all of trading, as simple as it may be. The one thing that I really wish I understood sooner is that concept of the trend is your friend. Because after solving how to identify a trend and how to get into a trend, literally everything changed for me. I mean, take this price action right here, right now. We are on Euro US dollar and we are on the 15-minute time frame. Simply meaning that every single one of these candlesticks that you're seeing right here represents 15 minutes of time, right? Each candlestick is composed of a high, which is the highest point of that price point. The low, which is the lowest point. They are both usually wicks. Then we have the open, right here. In a bearish scenario, the open, so a bearish candle, a candle that goes down, the open is always obviously at the low, and then the close is always here. So what we can see now is that in 15 minutes, we opened here, we had a quick move up to here, and then we had a very aggressive run down to here, and then we came back up in here, right? So this one candle tells me all of the information that I need. And then if we zoom out, we can see a very clear pattern emerging. That ultimately, this is a bearish market, right? We can see that we have a low down here, a high up here, a low down here, a high up here, and a low down here. So you can see that we are consistently putting in lower areas of price. over and over again. And then when we come back up here, what do you think is likely to happen next, right? Based off of just reading the language of the market. And again, they say history often rhythms, meaning that the probability, right? So the likelihood of something happening is far higher that it will repeat itself than do something different. So if you establish a bearish trend where price is going down like this, there is a higher probability that price will continue to go down again. And so the quicker that you can just strip everything off your charts and focus purely just on reading the structure of a market, the quicker that you will have success. And again, if you're new to the channel, I have so many videos on understanding market structure and market structure trading strategies. Again, you can check those out at a later time. But market structure is that one fundamental basic principle that if you can just understand that, 80% of your work is complete. Lesson number 4 is that one simple rule-based strategy is all you need to make money from trading. This is where most people go wrong. They think that trading must be complicated, right? More indicators, more strategies, more confirmations, more pairs to analyze. And honestly, that's something that I struggled with. I thought the same. When I started, I believed that the more I knew, the better I would trade. And so what did I do? I went and learned everything. Different strategies, different markets, different time frames. And the result? Complete analysis paralysis. I would literally sit there with the charts open, seeing 10 different things at once. And by the time that I had decided what to do, the opportunity was already gone. Other times, I wouldn't take a trade at all. Not because there wasn't an opportunity, but I didn't know which strategy to use. This is what strategy hopping does to you. It literally kills your confidence. It kills your ability to execute, and it makes everything feel random. And so here's what I learned the hard way. Complexity does not create consistency. Simple repetition does. Literally, that changed everything for me. When I stopped trying to know everything and committed to figuring out one simple rule-based strategy, one way of entering, one way of managing risk, one set of rules, nothing fancy. It changed everything for me. Take a look for yourself, right? Like this changed everything for me. This is one trading strategy. 577 trades, copying a checklist, right? That's how simple this strategy is. And what you need to do is once you've got a strategy, which I'm going to give you in a moment, my winning strategy, then you need to go and test it. You know, I've got 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, right? And these are the results. You can see green month after green month after green month, right? You can see I have a 30% win rate, meaning, right, and this is where a lot of beginners get confused. Beginners usually want a trading strategy that never loses, right? That's what they want. The truth is that it doesn't actually matter how many times you win as much as it matters how much you win when you win. So you can see here, right, my average win to loss trading ratio. These are numbers that you need to know. That means for every $1,000 that I lose, I gain $5,600 on a winning trade. So let's do the math together. So if I have a 30% win rate, if I take 10 trades, that means automatically I will lose 7 of those trades. And so if I lose 7, and let's say I'm risking $1,000 per trade, then I will lose a total of $7,000. And then let's say I win 3 trades. And on those 3 trades, what my data tells me is that I will make 5.61 times more. So I'll make $5,610. So I will make $16,830 across those 3 winning trades, minus the 7 losers, which is $7,000. After 10 trades executed, I will have made $9,830, even if I lose more trades than I win. Because it's not about how often you lose. It's about how much you lose versus how much you win, right? A very, very important principle. What you want is you want a strategy that when you win big. This is what it looks like on an equity curve. So you can see consistently going upwards, which is also what you really want to see over time. You can see that this strategy has performed well over 5 consecutive years. So let's break down this strategy very simply. So here is a very easy and repeatable strategy that you can use that will make you money. Step number 1, make sure that you are trading only between the hours of 2 to 5 a.m. or 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. One thing I noticed when I first started trading is I would just look at the markets as many times throughout the day as I possibly could. in all sorts of trading hours and tried to make something that worked. What I noticed that when I just dedicated myself to one specific 3-hour window, that's when I really got my results because I could focus. Also, especially if you have a job or something like that, you need something where you can just find a little gap in your day where you can just sit down, look at the market and find something and get on with your day and be done with the markets. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're trading in the direction of the 15-minute trend. So just what I just shown you, right? Make sure you're on the 15-minute time frame and you can just understand that we had a low down here, right? We have a low here, we come back up here, then we have a high, and then we put in this low. So we're bearish, right? We're trading lower. Then we put in a high, and then we put in a new low. And now we're coming up. So we want to make sure that we're trading in alignment with this 15-minute trend. So we want to make sure that we are only looking to sell the market when market is bearish. Step number 3 is you want to wait for confirmation. Confirmation is simple. You see that when we're bearish here, and then we start to reverse. So we're bullish right now. We're coming up like so. You want to wait to see aggressive reversal confirmation. So notice how the price was coming back up and now we're having this very aggressive 15-minute candle. Notice that we have a few more aggressive 15-minute candles. This is your reversal signal. Essentially what we're seeing is this high in here, and then we take out this low down here. That there is enough for confirmation. Now, what that tells us is that there's a very high probability that price is going to make its way back down to this low. You can simply put your trade on the final buy to sell. So this candle here, this bullish engulfing candle, right? You can just put your entry on here, shorts in this level. You can put your stops at the high. And you want to make sure that you're targeting a minimum of a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. Meaning if you risk $1,000, you will make $3,000. And for me personally, my average is 5.6. And so that would be 1-to-3 risk to reward. As you can see here, the risk to reward ratio shows us 3.01. Meaning that if I risk $1,000 in this trade, I stand to return $3,000. And then you wait for price to enter into your level. We get a nice reaction. We come back up. We get a nice reaction. Now notice, this is another thing that can throw you off. When price is in here and it's hovering around, there's a whole different ballgame of trading psychology that traders would need to deal with. Again, that's something that I cover in quite a lot of detail in the webinar that I want you to go and watch. Again, another thing, what you'll notice is as price is hovering around in here, this is where traders' emotions can begin to fluctuate because you get tagged in here, you're maybe up a couple of $1,000s and then you're coming back and now you're at 0. And now you're in a little bit of red, and now you're in green, and now you're in red. And this fluctuation can really affect traders' emotions, which can make them make decisions that they shouldn't do, not following their plan. It's called deviation, and it's one of the biggest things that hold traders back. It's also something that I cover in extensive detail in the 45-minute free masterclass that you're going to be able to watch after this. Again, I've left it down below. So you can see now we're still in this trade, we're still running, and eventually price runs and we hit through this minimum 1-to-3 risk reward. If you literally just follow this, you will understand consistently day in, day out how to find trades that actually work.